preface of our great day, our Independence Day. Just want to, thank God that we live in this country and in America, and what we stand for and what we do for our children. Nothing is better and nothing is more important. Tonight we are going to present our tentative budget for the 24-25 school year. But before I do so, it's been a long road, and those who've been following this road along with us and our journey for the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you know where it's taken us. It's taken us to Trenton in protest. It's taken us to bent knee in asking for mercy. It's taken us across the state to many negotiations and pleas and directions. And tonight, and we've avoided that fiscal cliff for the last couple of years, one because of COVID, some injection of some federal dollars because of COVID relief for those 2 years, and others because we've been as creative as possible to come together as a community when we had to. But for the last 7 years, Toms River Regional Schools has been decimated by the state's funding formula and the S2 legislation that created $137 million cumulative loss for our students, our district, and our taxpayers. All the while, this district has been mandated to tax our communities to the maximum of an allowable 2% cap. We've had to. It was not a choice. Toms River already has cut over 250 jobs, including administrative, teachers, and reduced its programming for students along the way. We have used all of our surplus and reserves and monetized our assets, rented facilities, and even sold trees to make up a shortfall. Even with all those actions, there was no way to make up the $137 million cut with the allowable 2% tax levy increase over a 7-year period. We have worked with our executive county superintendent and business administrator and sought any suggestions that may have to address our crisis. The fallout of all this has pushed the most efficient, the most cost-efficient, the lowest spending district in the state of New Jersey to bankruptcy, as districts that spend far more and tax far less have benefited from major aid increases to their budget, leading to wasteful spending, ridiculous salary increases, and non-essential pet projects. I have been clear and transparent for the last year that because of these decisions by the Department of Education and the state of New Jersey, Toms River is $26.5 million short on its budget to complete the 24-25 school year. Myself, my team, and this board have been working nonstop to communicate, lobby, negotiate, testify, and pursue the shortfall and address these funding issues. Members at the county and the state level of the Department of Education, in fact, who are experts in school finance, have agreed with our number of a negative $26.5 million hole and have said you have a revenue problem, not a spending problem. We have continued to take the high road and work with local and state legislators and the governor's office directly to have a solution to our problem. We did so all the way up until last Friday when the budget was signed and Toms River was left to deal with the financial cliff the state of New Jersey created. Let me say that again. The state of New Jersey knowingly created this problem for our district and our neighbors in Brick, Jackson, Lakewood, Lacey, Plumstead, and Stafford, just to name a few. Why? Why? How do you do that to 15,000 children that deserve the same opportunities as every child in this great state? $26.5 million removed from this budget would eliminate, once again, 368 more jobs, putting class sizes in the hundreds, eliminating all extracurricular and athletic programs from this district. It would also eliminate kindergarten completely. There is no way to even propose such a thing. What they have done is nothing short of legislative child abuse and neglect. I have done my job of presenting a balanced budget tonight. I have. But unfortunately, it does not provide a structural revenue solution, and it only compounds this problem for this district moving forward. Liquidating assets, appraising assets that don't touch kids just to sell them in a one-year loss only makes that number double the following year. Because of the malfeasance of the Department of Education, this year we're $91.5 million under adequacy, which is the amount the state's constitutionally approved formula tells us we should be spending to provide a thorough and efficient education. Being $26.5 million short, that number now increases to $118 million under adequacy. But yet the commissioner now says that number is a benchmark or a suggestion. But I want to talk about our community, and I want to talk about what we should not and cannot do. We should not and cannot do. Because number one, our students come first. Our future children come first. They deserve not only the programs they have in place today, but they deserve the ones we wish we could provide them tomorrow. Number two, community strength, resolve, trust, and commitment. It's what we need. It's what we must have. The easiest thing to do is to panic, point fingers amongst ourselves, and fight. The fight is with the Department of Education in the state of New Jersey and the decision makers that have created these policies that harm our students, our teachers, our staff, and our community. Already, we've heard and seen local politics try to steep in and fracture us and take advantage of political moments. We can't do that. That's no different than Governor Murphy or Commissioner Deemer and the legislators that turned their back on their 15,000 students and 50,000 plus families when they passed a budget that provided over $1 billion this year in extra spending in education and $700 million more in pork or Christmas tree money for politicians' pet projects, while our students and their futures and our opportunities are thrown away like yesterday's garbage. Politics have no place in a school. Not in any school. I want to talk about salaries for a second as we address this. Because last month, our board members that volunteer that time and speak about their convictions objected on some agenda items that caused some personnel issues to not go through. Clearly, those decisions were done because we have no budget. Let me be clear. Nobody on this Board of Education or in my office think that certain members of any administrative team are more essential than the next. No one. Every one of my assistants and our business administrator work their tails off, and students and staff for this community. We are together every day, before work, after work, and after hours, focusing on our purpose, which is our students. And I want this community to know, as we fight for our funding, every one of my team, including myself, will be working under last year's contractual obligations. Our kids come first, and there can't be any distraction. What we need now is Toms River Regional Schools community to do exactly what we always do. Come together, join this fight, sign on to this pursuit. This fight goes beyond the borders of Toms River and its regional district. It affects our entire county and all the children and the future of those children in this county. I call on everyone, our elected officials in our district and our county, to stand by us, join us. Because if this county seat fails and falls, we all fall. We are TR. And with that, we have hope, we have promise, and we just have what's right for children. And we will not waver from any of those promises. I'm going to turn this over now for our board attorney for any next steps.